Hey Pat, welcome to the Community Living Golf Tournament. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. Let that play through a few times, and then we'll go ahead and put you back in your address position and take a look at a few things for you. So while I got you back here in your setup, setup looks really good. You've got your spine straight and on a nice tilt. Your legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Your arms hang down nice and naturally out in front of you, and the club works out to the golf ball. Looks fabulous. Also in association with good posture, you're achieving very good balance, so that's great. At this point, we can go ahead and take a look at your alignment. We can see your feet are a little bit closed, aiming out to the right a little. Theoretically, club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet. Parallel lines would have the appearance of converging, so we can see we're sort of set up into the right corner of the fairway, meeting the right rough. Therefore, we're going to have to see some form of a compensation in your golf swing and try and get the ball back towards the center of the fairway. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison here between you and Brandt Snedeker. We've got some color-coded lines on the screen here just as a reference point as it pertains to swing plane. We can see with Snedeker, as he draws the golf club back, he creates good shoulder rotation, bringing the arms and hands back as well as the club. See the club coming back on plane along the red line. At this point in time, we're going to want to create some wrist hinge, transitioning the club head from being below our hands to now being above, and working the club now from red up to yellow. We finally set the club at the top of the backswing, and the left arm and the club are situated on the yellow line. We have full shoulder rotation, and we do this about a very stable right leg. With your backswing here, we see great shoulder rotation, bringing the arms and hands back as well as the club. Club does have a tendency of moving slightly underneath the swing plane. Just means the club has moved inside and to the left of the red line. And as we continue to move here, as long as we incorporate some wrist hinge into play, that club will recover. And we do see some wrist hinge there. Club is still laid off, hasn't recovered fully yet. Gets into a better position at this point in time right now. So that's great. As we continue to move to the top, we see good rotation. We see that your arms do compress a little, right elbow flies a bit, right forearm's compressing to the bicep, biceps trying to go behind your body a little bit. Club gets a little bit out of position. You've got good turn, stable right side. You have stood up out of your shot a little bit too, so if we take a look at your spinal tilt, sitting here at about 75 degrees right now. It wasn't there at the address position, it was at 58 degrees. So you certainly stand up out of your shot when you're making your backswing. The whole idea about creating good posture is to rotate on that axis while maintaining it, not standing up out of the shot. Okay? Anyways, so as we create our transition back in the ball, simply want to move our weight from our right foot to our left, fire our knees and our hips to the target, unwind the core and fire the hands. And doing so, we want to make sure that we're bringing the golf club from yellow back down on top of red. And that's exactly what we see here. We see the golf club returning back to being on plane. The other thing we want to observe at this stage of the golf swing is the relationship between the lead form and the golf club. We refer to this as the backwards check mark. It simply means that the club head is remaining above and behind our hands. Therefore, we're retaining angle, and when we retain angle, it allows us to create a lot of power in our golf swing, let alone getting it to return back to plane, as we already pointed out. And this is ultimately what's going to allow him to hit a straight golf shot. As you create your transition back on the ball, good footwork moving back to the left side, knees are kicking in, hips are kicking in. We have an over-the-top move here, so we can see your hands traveling down yellow towards blue. So unfortunately, you're going to be throwing that club out away from you, and we can go ahead and track the club head coming into the ball. Well, actually right there you're hanging on and fighting, but you're just not going to win the battle here. Your arms have separated way too far out away from your core, and that club head's going to fall to the outside. So if we connect the dots, this was your descending move into the ball, whereas with Snedeker, his club simply comes into the ball from an on-plane position from this red line. And again, this is what is ultimately going to allow him to hit the ball straight in accordance to his alignment, assuming club face squares up via having a good grip. At this point in time, we can go ahead and take a look at the path of the club. We can see Snedeker's club is slightly inside the ball. It expands out to make contact and then moves through on a nice natural subtle arc. Your club is directly behind the ball or slightly outside, drops down and across to make contact, and we can see it sort of moving in this direction. So if we happen to square the club face up to that path, what will happen is the ball will likely take off sort of in this direction. It will be pulled to the left, but again, that is your compensation for your alignment, which is aimed out to the right. So again, we're aimed out in this direction, set up to hit the golf ball at the blue flag. We swing the golf club from outside to inside, and that hopefully allows us to pull the ball down the red arrow, down the red arrow, and then towards the yellow flag here. Okay, so again, through impact, we can see that out and move, swinging across. We can see the ball heading down that red arrow pretty much, and then the end result of the golf shot is solely dictated based on the timing of the club face. If the club face over releases, it'll follow red, and then it will have right to left spin and will hit a pull draw or pull hook. If the club under releases, it'll follow red, and then it will have left to right spin and it will hit a pull fade or pull slice. And if we time it properly, then it'll just follow red and we'll hit what is referred to as a pull straight shot, or perhaps maybe just a subtle pull fade, but the pull straight shot and the pull fade isn't going to hurt you, and we'll find the intended target. Just want to make sure you're also creating proper footwork through to the finish. Your right heel comes off the ground a little bit. You want to get fully up onto the toe of this right foot so we can count the spikes in your shoe. Exactly like what we're seeing with Snedeker on the left side of the screen. That gets all our weight to our left side and allows our hips to fully square around and the shoulders to fully rotate. So you're doing a good job with your upper body. Just create a little bit better footwork and complete that footwork through to the finishing position. Okay? Anyways, little recap. Again, your setup's awesome. Posture, balance, distance away from the ball looks great. Alignment's a little out to the right. You bring the golf club back very, very well. You do get a little compression in the arms, and then the major thing is you do come over the top and you do swing that club from out to in, trying to pull the ball back to the left. So in order to have consistency in a golf swing, there's three things we need. We need to aim well, we need to bring the club down on plane, and we have to square the face up via having a good grip. Unfortunately, you're aimed out to the right, you're coming over the top, and at that point in time, you're simply trying to compensate with the club face. So you're not really acquiring any of the three aspects that are needed to be a consistent ball striker and hit the ball straight on a consistent basis. Okay, good athletic motion, and if you could improve your alignment, learn how to bring the club down on plane, and then obviously your grip is looking pretty good, so we don't have to worry too much about that. You could become a much more consistent ball striker for sure, considering the amount of nice athletic qualities you have to your golf swing here. Okay? Anyways, if at any point in time you'd care to work on any of these aspects in your golf swing, certainly feel free to contact me. All my contact information is at the end of this swing analysis. And also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all, or sit on the committee for any events and you're looking for a unique gift to provide to your guests, certainly feel free to reach out as well. Okay? Anyways, I hope you had a great day. Hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video, and hope you have